Hello, boys and girls. This is Aunt Fernita, and I have a wonderful story for you called Who Cares? Today's memory verse is from Psalms 56, verse 3. It says, "When I am afraid, I will trust in you." The message for today's story is when we are afraid, we can trust in God. Is there anything you are afraid of? Joseph was afraid, but he decided to trust in God. One day, Joseph's older brothers took the family's great flocks of sheep far away from home. The sheep had eaten all the grass in the nearby fields, so the brothers had to find new green fields where the sheep could eat. Many days passed, and the brothers had not returned. "I want you to go find your brothers," Father Jacob said to Joseph. "See if they need anything. Then come back and tell me if they're all right." "Yes, Father, I'll go at once," Joseph said. He packed some food for the long trip. Finally ready, he put on his beautiful coat and started out. He walked and walked and walked. It took several days to find his brothers. One morning, his brothers looked out across the field and saw Joseph coming towards them. "Here comes that dreamer," one brother hissed. "Why is he here?" asked another. Then they talked about bad things that they could do to Joseph, and they made plans, terrible plans. "Here you are," Joseph called, running up to his brothers, but his smile slid right off his face as his brothers grabbed him roughly. At first, they pulled off Joseph's beautiful coat. Then they pushed him into a big hole in the ground, a hole so deep he couldn't climb out. The brothers returned to their campfire and sat down to eat. But Joseph's brother, Reuben, didn't feel right about what they had done. He secretly planned to pull Joseph out of the deep hole later and send him home. Reuben thought about it as he went to the fields to care for the sheep. While Reuben was gone, another brother named Judah looked out across the valley. "Here come some traders," he exclaimed. "Here's a way to get rid of that dreamer. Let's sell Joseph to them. He can be their slave." So that is what the brothers did. They sold Joseph to the traders for 20 pieces of silver. At first, Joseph was very frightened. He shivered and shook, and then he cried. Then he thought of his father and of the many stories Father Jacob had told to him about how God always cared for him. Joseph decided to trust God to take care of him too. He didn't understand why this bad thing was happening to him, but he trusted God to be with him wherever he went. You can trust God to be with you too. He will be with you wherever you go, whatever you do. He loves you and wants you to trust him.
This podcast was brought to you by Gracelink.net and Studio El Piso. For more children's resources, please visit Gracelink.net. Gracelink